Hi, so I'm starting a series called Storytelling on the blog, and it is about sharing ideas from the books that I read that I would like to recommend everybody. And today, the first book that I would like to share in the series Storytelling is The Mystery of Things by A.C. Graylings. I have been trying to finish this book, but because of a lot of other commitments, I couldn't really finish it yet. But I thought I'll recommend this book because there are some interesting ideas that I took from the book and I wanted to reflect on them and talk about them. So, the book is basically third in the series of three that A.C. Graylings has written. He's a British philosopher. He has written earlier than this books like Meaning of Things, and perhaps there is another one that I'm forgetting the name for. So this is the third one in the series. This is a collection of essays on arts, science, and culture, and the philosopher has reflected on historical figures, incidents, ideas in a manner that is different from how these historical facts and personalities and ideas have been discussed earlier. So this is why the book is called Mystery of Things. One thing that I found interesting in the chapter, which is on arts and culture and war, is his reflection on how many of the famous, fascist leaders, dictators, and authoritarian figures had this very deep connection with arts and poetry during their reign, during their time of rule. And he gives examples such as Hitler and Hermann Goring, who were known for being fascists and authoritarian and quite tyrants during their time. And both of them, Hitler as a fascist leader, as a authoritarian ruler, had this obsession with collecting art and paintings. So much so that, as the author says, that he used to dislike unfinished paintings. On the other hand, Goring himself used to collect artwork, and Hitler wanted to make his city of Linz in Austria, you know, more like a museum where he collects all the famous art and artistic work from different artists, and that just shows what kind of mysterious relationship dictators, authoritarian rulers, and tyrants have shared with art, which is commonly known as an expression of humanity and love. Similarly, if we look at the Indo-Pak subcontinent, we find that Mughal emperors brought a lot of taste for art and culture and poetry into subcontinent, and known for famous writings and poetry. Bahadur Shah Zafar, who is the last Mughal emperor, he reflected upon his life and his failures and his life altogether in his poetic expression, in his poetry, even while he was imprisoned after the failure of the War of Independence in 1857. Jahangir is known as someone who focused on promoting Persian and Urdu language and the literature in Persian and Urdu language during his regime. So this is an interesting dichotomy I actually found interesting as part of the mystery of things, that throughout the historical, history itself, we see that the kings and the tyrants and the authoritarian rulers and dictators had this very mysterious relationship and obsession and interest in either collecting, artistic work, or writing it themselves or painting themselves, which is very interesting, I would say. So I would recommend you read this book called Mystery of Things, and maybe share your thoughts on it.